Breaking news, or should I say bloody news, from the streets of Atlanta, where silence screams louder than sirens and Instagram filters can't hide the bruises. What really happened the night Tamar Braxton's perfect smile turned into a crime scene? And why is Yandy Smith's Kazonis, the same Kesha with a punch faster than a Twitter thread, suddenly at the center of the mess? Coincidence? Please? Atlanta doesn't do coincidences. Picture it. Neon lights, champagne popping, and two reality stars whispering in a dark corner like they're plotting a Netflix spin-off. Hours later, one of them is bleeding, one of them is missing, and the internet is losing its collective mind. Tamar says she doesn't remember. Mendeecees says nothing. And Yandy? Oh, she's posting family selfies like it's Sunday service. You can't make this up, bit. You know we will. So grab your popcorn, your ring light, and maybe a prayer or two. Because tonight we're diving into the story Atlanta doesn't want you to hear. From secret texts to shady cousins, from glam to gore. This is Yandy Smith's cousin Kesha, exposed Tamar Braxton's bloody attack revealed. Welcome to the Chows Because in Atlanta. Truth bleeds drama. Atlanta at night is a world that never sleeps. A glittering maze of lights, secrets, and whispers that can turn fame into fear in a single heartbeat. That weekend, the energy in the air was heavy. Something electric and dangerous, as if the whole city was holding its breath for the drama it knew was coming. The name Tamar Braxton was already enough to stir the blogs. But this time, it wasn't about music or heartbreak or another reality show feud. This time, her name was being dragged into a story that sounded like a movie script gone wrong. One soaked in blood, silence, and betrayal. And at the center of it all stood one figure who never wanted the spotlight, but somehow always found her name attached when things got ugly. Yandy Smith's cousin Kesha. The night started harmless enough, with the usual crowd of influencers, stylists, and self-made celebrities flooding into the V12 lounge. That neon-soaked corner of Atlanta where fortunes and reputations are built and destroyed over bottles of champagne. Tamar arrived with her usual presence, loud, confident, magnetic. Smiling for cameras even when she knew every flash carried judgment. She was supposed to be celebrating a friend's birthday, just another night of toasts and laughter. But when mendeecees Harris walked in, the air seemed to shift. Like someone had turned down the volume on the music and turned up the tension. People whispered, eyes followed, and somewhere near the bar, Funky Deneva smirked like he already had tomorrow's viral clip planned. The chemistry between Tamar and mendeecees wasn't quiet, not in a city that thrives on rumor. Witnesses swore they leaned too close, whispered too much, laughed too easily for two people who weren't supposed to share that kind of comfort. Phones went up discreetly, and within minutes, the gossip mill was grinding like it had been waiting all week for a story like this. Around midnight, Deneva allegedly went live, joking about Atlanta's next entanglement, and viewers laughed, unaware they were watching the prelude to something darker. Hours later, those same fans were refreshing their timelines with disbelief as pictures began to surface. Tamar's face swollen, her eyes barely open, her perfect smile now bloodied and broken. The early reports said she'd been found in her home, barely conscious, with no sign of forced entry. No robbery and no clear memory of what happened. She told friends she remembered laughter, then darkness. That was it. No one saw mendeecees leave with her. But multiple sources claimed they left the club minutes apart, and somehow that was enough to start the wildfire. By sunrise, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube were ablaze with theories. Some said it was jealousy, others swore it was revenge. Yandy posted happy family pictures, Deneva cracked jokes. And Kesha's woman, everyone in Atlanta knew, never spoke unless it was with her fists, was suddenly nowhere to be found. In this city, silence isn't innocence, it's a language of power. And that night, everyone was fluent in it. By the time the sun crept over Atlanta, the story had already spread faster than wildfire. Every blog, podcast, and gossip page had a version, and each one was more dramatic than the last. People wanted a villain, and they found one in Kesha. Yandy Smith's cousin, the woman known for her silence and her strength. The one who rarely spoke but never backed down when family pride was on the line. Old footage from a Love and Hip Hop reunion resurfaced where Kesha had lunged at another cast member with a kind of rage that made producers cut to commercial. The internet used that moment as proof, stitching it next to Tamar's bruised face as if connecting dots that had never even existed. But truth never matters when rumors taste this good. Anonymous insiders claimed they saw a black SUV parked near Tamar's house that night. Tinted windows, engine running, lights off. Others swore they heard shouting, glass breaking, footsteps running into the dark. None of it was confirmed, but confirmation wasn't needed anymore. Atlanta was convinced that Yandy's cousin had handled Tamar for getting too close to mendeecees. People online said it was a warning, a message. A reminder that Yandy might be polished for the cameras, but her bloodline played by street rules. And then there was Funky Dineva laughing through the chaos as if the entire city had become his stage. He posted a fake wanted poster of himself with the caption, "Guilty of being fabulous." And his followers flooded the comments with clown emojis and accusations. Some called it dark humor. Others saw it as guilt, disguised as sarcasm. Why joke when your friend was almost killed? Why turn trauma into clickbait? Every time Dineva opened his mouth, the internet tore him apart even more. Meanwhile, mendeecees stayed silent. Not a word, not a post. Not even a statement defending his wife or denying his connection to Tamar. He simply vanished into the background. While his name burned through every headline, silence had now become its own confession. And in Atlanta, silence always means you know something you shouldn't say. People started claiming leaked messages showed mendeecees and Tamar had been secretly texting for weeks. That the chemistry at the club wasn't new, but the result of a dangerous flirtation that finally spilled into public. Screenshots surfaced, most likely fake, but they didn't need to be real because the audience had already chosen what to believe. Everyone had a theory and everyone wanted blood, not justice. Tamar's team begged her to release a statement, to post a video, to deny the rumors, but she said nothing. Her silence only fueled the fire, only fueled the fire. The longer she stayed quiet, the more people believed that what happened wasn't an accident. Whispers turned into certainty, certainty into outrage, and outrage into entertainment. Atlanta didn't just want the truth. It wanted a spectacle, and now it had one. By the third day, the story had grown into something monstrous. A living rumor that fed on silence and speculation until it became bigger than truth itself. Every outlet claimed to have an inside source. Every YouTuber acted like they had exclusive footage, and every fan was convinced they knew exactly what happened. Tamar's face became a symbol not of pain, but of the cost of getting too close to the wrong people. Theories spiraled out of control. Some said Kesha showed up at Tamar's house that night, storming in like she had on that reunion stage years ago, while others believed she never needed to appear at all, that her reputation alone was enough to terrify Tamar into silence. People remembered Yandy's old interviews where she spoke about protecting her family at all costs. And suddenly those words were being dissected like they were hidden confessions. The internet decided Yandy didn't need to fight her own battles because her cousin did it for her. And every smiling picture Yandy posted was seen as mockery. Meanwhile, mendeecees' silence turned from mystery to menace. The man who had once let the cameras follow his every move was now nowhere to be found. No interviews, no denials, just the void of someone who either didn't care or was too deep in something to speak. And that silence became the loudest sound in Atlanta. Funky Dineva tried to pivot, posting reaction videos about the scandal, calling it unfortunate and overblown. But by then, the damage was irreversible. His jokes had made him look complicit, and people stopped laughing. Tamar's fans wanted blood. Yandy's fans defended her with blind loyalty. And the rest of the internet just enjoyed the spectacle. The situation had become less about what happened and more about how people felt about it. A digital trial with no evidence and no defense, only opinions that multiplied like wildfire. Tamar finally posted a short note saying she was healing and grateful for love and prayers. But she said nothing about the attack, the suspects, or the endless noise around her name. That one sentence calmed no one. In fact, it made things worse because now her silence had a tone, and everyone thought they could hear guilt or fear in it. Bloggers began claiming that the police had quietly questioned multiple people but were told to keep details sealed for legal reasons. Some even went as far as to suggest there were text messages linking Kesha to someone near Tamar's neighborhood. No proof, no screenshots, just whispers dressed as evidence. Still, the story had already done its damage. Tamar was a victim. Mendeecees was the question mark. Yandy was the untouchable strategist, and Kesha was the invisible ghost haunting them all. And that was how Atlanta remembered it. Not as a night of violence, but as a night where silence screamed louder than any truth ever could, leaving behind a story that refused to die. And that right there is the story Atlanta still can't stop whispering about. A scandal soaked in silence, fear, and fame. But here's the real question. Who do you believe? Was Tamar just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or did she cross a line that someone powerful wanted her to regret? Did Yandy know more than she let on? Or is her cousin Kesha being framed by a city that loves drama more than truth? And what about mendeecees, the man who vanished behind his silence while the internet burned his name? The truth might never come out, but we'll be watching every move, every post, every slip-up. Because in this city, every smile hides a secret, and every secret eventually finds its way to the light. So don't just scroll by. Be part of the conversation. Drop your theory in the comments. Tell us who you think really knows what happened that night. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next story the streets are too scared to say out loud. This is BuzzVault, where silence doesn't protect you, it exposes you.